Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. My track guide for the FF1600 going around Oschersleben. We're going to be sliding around. Let's get into it. For qualifying, you want to be all the way on the right, but in the race, turn 1 can be a good place to overtake. Turn 1 is all about setting up for the exit of turn 2. So we turn in when we get to the road here just in front of us, and brake at the same time. You want to get as close as you can to the anti-cuts on the inside without hitting them. Once I get to this road, I'll apply the brake. I'll go to about 50% brake pressure and carry that all the way to the inside curb of turn 1. Once I'm off that curb and the road changes color, then we'll be hard on the brake again, this time for turn 2. And you want the car straight as well. This time the aim is about 75% brake pressure. I'm off the brake again when I'm off the curb. Then you want to track out a little bit to open up the exit a bit more. Don't run over the pit line, but just around there. Once out there, I aim for the anti-cut sausage on the inside of turn 2. Once I'm out at the pit line, I'll apply the throttle again. I do this gradually because it's really easy to understeer off the corner here. We do have a bit of space on the outside of turn 2, but that is really easy to understeer off. Use it if necessary. For turn 3, you want to bring the car over to the right. Turn 3 is also a great place to try and overtake. My braking marker for turn 3 is the concrete here on the right. Once I get to that, I'll go on the brake. I'll go to about 80% brake pressure and easing that off all the way to the inside curb, where the curb begins. I prefer to take a later apex here. I feel you can carry more speed because we have a little bit of an embankment. The car might want to slide a little bit around though. Once in the middle of the corner, you want to start to apply the throttle again. Same principle as last time, don't just yank it. You want to ease it off just a bit because it's really easy to go off here. And of course, use the room necessary. For turn 4, you want to stay all the way on the right, and we do not have to brake for turn 4 at all. Actually, turn 4, 5 and 6 is all about setting up for turn 7. You want to turn in for turn 4 and stabilize the car with either the brake or the throttle. The aim is to cut the inside curb for turn 5, and you want to be cutting the inside curb of turn 6, which is also the one I use as my braking marker for turn 7. You want to have the car pretty much straight for turn 7. Once we leave the curb of turn 6, you'll be on the brake. I aim for about 75% brake pressure, and I'm easing that off all the way to the inside curb of turn 7. Once at the inside curb of turn 7, you want to track out a little bit, about half a car. We do that to open up the exit a bit more. Then you want to bring it back and apex where the red and white curb ends. Just before the red and white curb ends, you want to be on the throttle again and use all of the available room on the outside. Turn 8 and 9 is all about setting up for the exit of turn 10. I go full throttle into turn 8, but once I'm off the curb, I'll lift off just to stabilize the car. Once I leave the curb we're on now, then I'll hit the brake to about 30% brake pressure and ease that off all the way to the curb for inside of turn 10. You don't want to be using too much brake here, because we have the long straight afterwards. The aim is to stay close to the curb, but do not cut the thick sausage on the inside. Just before the curb ends, you want to go full throttle again. If you follow the curb all the way around and go on the throttle just before the end, then you should stay within the runoff on the outside, which you also want to utilize as much as possible, just to keep the exit speed up. The run down to turn 11 is going to be a great place to overtake. But for qualifying, you want to be all the way on the left. I don't have that clear of a braking marker for you here, but I'll try and brake just before I lose these two pillars here on the right. Once I start to brake, I'll go to about 75% brake pressure and easing that off all the way to the inside curb of turn 11. You want to come out on the right side of the track after turn 11. We do that to open up turn 12 a lot more. All we have to do for turn 12 is just lift off the throttle to help the car turn in. You want to get as close as you can to the anti-cut on the inside without hitting it. And when you're off that curb, you want to go full throttle again. Don't use too much room on the outside as there is a 1x. For turn 13, you want to bring the car over to the left. I don't have a clear braking marker for you for turn 13, but I do tap the brake to just about 20%. Get as close as you can to the anti-cut without hitting it. Use all of the room on the outside. We do that to open up turn 14 a lot more. My braking marker is the white line here. Once I get to that, then I go to about 70% brake pressure, with easing that off all the way to the curb. Do not touch the anti-cut on the inside, because when you go on the throttle, that will spin the car around. I prefer to take a bit of a later apex to just before the anti-cut on the inside stops. Once I'm at the curb there, I'm going full throttle again, and then I'm tracking out to use all of the room I need on the outside. Do not go into the gravel, as that will slow the car down quite a lot. And now it's just a drag race down to the start finish line. And that's my lap around Oschersleben in the FF1600 of a 132.057. I have more track guides for the FF1600 linked down below. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, leave a like down below. Consider subscribing as well. And now for the uninterrupted hot laps.